All right. All right, let's see if I can give you just kind of a quick rundown. Okay, so each server is going to be designated one region that they start in. So 321 was here, 324 was here, 323 was here, and 322 was here at the very beginning. And so that's kind of how it started. But then, pretty much when you start in there, you'll notice like everything is black. Like you can't see in here. So there could be people in here, and I don't know because there's no towers. The only way I can find out is if I were to send a troop out there and it kind of shows or reveals that a person is there, or I have to have a tower in that region. Okay, so when you first start in a server, this is the zone that 321 was in. So we had these 7 regions, and we kind of split it up between, I think blue was in the north, red was in the, or green was in the south, and red was in the middle. And all these gates are locked at the beginning. So pretty much all you're doing is at the very beginning is all you're doing is getting resources. No cities are unlocked. But just like in Norheim, after you complete certain chronicles, then the cities will open up. And so first the level 7 cities opened up. And then we took over the level 7 cities. And then the level 8 cities opened up. And then we took over the level 8 cities. And so all the servers are independent and like they're working separate. One thing that you'll know that's good to know in Norheim is that, or not Norheim, in Frostborn, is that there are, if you, let's say you're able to get level 7 nodes in Norheim, you're able to get level 8 nodes in Frostborn. So, like, that's a good benefit. And then also, if they are in the heated up region, those nodes, you get a higher, so this gets 456k per hour. Uh, uh, Gathering speed, but if it's in the frost, it's going to be slower. So it's like 381 k per hour, and so pretty much you're using those towers to give you light and to give you heat that will help you to get resources. If you are parked out in the cold, your city is constantly losing prosperity, and so then one hit you could be knocked out. So the thing is, you want to have towers and have control of certain regions. So once again, like everyone's locked in at the very beginning. So then once you've kind of completed those chronicles, the next big, so that's like all part 1. So part 2 would be these gates unlock. These gates unlock for all the servers. And so it's a race to knock down the gates and to attack the enemy team. And so there's ways to speed across and do it, but you have to do it just right, and you have to have alternative alliances that you're able to use, like and plant a tower immediately, so that you can quickly get over there, so you don't have to build small individual towers. But we can explain that more later. So pretty much. Green headed south and took over this region, and blue headed north and took over this region, and then red was kind of dispersed. I think their smaller players went north, and some of their whales went south with us, and we all kind of worked together, taking turns taking over the gates and then busting through, and we had to start taking down all their towers, and then we went through these gates so that so then we end up meeting up with this server and this server at the same time, and kind of took out that region. And so then what we did is we kind of just we divided up the territory. So green took over the full south. Blue took over the far west. Then red took over the north, and then we shared our original properties and some of the properties. So this was like the shared region here. So pretty much, yeah, you want to tear down their towers, you want to set up your own towers, and then you're able to take over all of their cities. It takes a while to tear down their towers and set up your own towers, And then there's ways of kind of guarding that. But as you can see, all of the inner circle is still locked down. So that actually opens up for us tonight, the inner circle. So we're currently all in zone one. So pretty much I told you part one was gathering, part two is fighting for the zone one, and trying to lock everyone out. So when you take over these gates, it kind of locks them out because it's hard for them to overcome the gate. So you pretty much want to lock out the enemies once you've kind of taken over their territory, because then they can only respawn in the last section they were in. So if they moved out of that section at all, they're stuck over here. If they are here, they're stuck here. So we kind of took over, so they can't escape. Once zone two opens up, which opens up tonight, we will start taking over these gates, and then so we're gonna kind of jump in a gate and then try to take over a bunch of other gates in order to make it so that the people who were in the original gates, they can't get into this territory, because then that'll make this area safe. But some people might try to escape and into this zone tonight. So our goal is to try to knock them out as soon as possible. Yeah, then pretty much the next section. So green is going to take over this section, blue is going to take over this section, red is going to take over this section, and then this is going to be our shared territory. So it's able to be fairly even until you get to the middle. So this zone, the middle zone, is going to be locked out. This is going to be zone 3. And pretty much right now there's 3 citadels. So like pretty much we can all fight for a citadel, but then Yrmir is going to be the battleground, or pretty much where you can. I've not gotten to this part, so I feel like I'm explaining something I don't know as well, because I got smoked in my first Frostborn. But to be able to explain it, like eventually this is what's either you learn to share and you're okay with some of the server getting higher rewards and some getting less, or people duke it out. It all kind of comes down to what they all decide, or how that works. So, anyways, that's kind of a very general idea. There's still a lot more details. There's tactics. There's all these like strategies, but a lot of it's hard to explain without jumping into it. The good thing is it lasts a long time, so you can like teach and show and strategize each phase of Frostborn. All right, I hope that helps.